Hi, I'm Mark, Bracer Butchers, Pate, Dorchester. Today what we're going to do is make an individual beef Wellington. You've probably had or probably seen the large beef Wellingtons which utilise a whole fillet. What we're doing is my take on it, we're doing an individual one so you can cook it for 2, 3, however many you want really. But ideal for cooking at home, making at home, and pretty simple, impressive little dish to make. So first things first, we've got our beef fillet here. It's our Maiden Castle beef fillet, aged again on the bone, 3 weeks, 21 days as a minimum. So I'm just a bit of olive oil on there, bit of sea salt, get that pan hot. What we're going to do is just going to season the other side of the fillets as well. A little bit of pepper on top now. And all we're doing is literally just sealing it on all sides. Just going to pop it in that little pan there, and that's it, done. Right, next thing, what we're going to do is a mushroom duxelle. Don't get yourself beaten up over the name. It's basically what we're going to do is just cook some mushrooms down, cook all the moisture out of them, and that's going to go onto the top of the fillet as well. So all we're going to do is take these chestnut mushrooms. They stay still. I've got a shallot there as well. So we're just going to literally just dice that shallot up. Looks complex, looks difficult, but it's fairly simple and straightforward. So we've got a pan on there. The same pan we've cooked the fillets in. So I've just added the knob of butter in there, and I've added some olive oil to that as well. So in go the shallots. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just literally finely chop the mushrooms whilst keeping an eye on the shallots as well, because we don't want those to burn. We just want to cook them so they're sort of translucent. This dish has a couple of sort of building blocks, as I call it, involved, because we've got the mushroom duxelle. We're also going to do a watercress puree to go on top of that as well. But these are all little things that can be done in advance. So it's not like you have to stay in the kitchen for hours cooking that. In go the mushrooms. Into that, we're just going to put some fresh thyme in there as well. So we're just going to let that slowly cook down. And sort of really get the mushroomy flavours out of that. So the mushrooms are near enough cooked now. They've taken on all that shallot flavour. So what we're going to do now is just add a glug of red wine to that. Mushrooms are like a little sponge, they'll soak all that up now, all that flavour. And then we're just going to add a little bit of cream into that. This is reduced down enough now, which is fine. So what we're going to do is leave that to one side just to cool down. So next thing what we're going to do is do the watercress puree. So I've got some fresh watercress here. We'll pick through, all the big stalks taken off. Hot water, boiling hot water. So what we're going to do is just literally just wilt the watercress on there. So next what we're going to do is take the watercress, which is warm, we're going to squeeze out as much moisture as possible. That's going to go into this little blender we've got here. A little bit of sea salt in there. We're going to add a little bit of cream to this, just to sort of help enrichen it a little bit. We're just going to season it up, and that's the puree done. Next we're going to get our sheets of puff pastry. We've got the pre-rolled pastry. You can use the big blocks if you want to. Just take a bit of roll in that, that's all. So just making sure that's dusted in flour. What we're going to do now, we're going to cut out 4 circles. We're going to roll 2 of them slightly larger than the others because they've got to go over the top of the steak. So what we've done here, we've rolled them out quite thin, as you can see. Because the thicker the pastry, it's going to take that much longer to cook, and you have the chance then of overcooking your fillet, which you don't want to do really. Little tip, what we do, warm the tray up, get the tray really, really hot in the oven first, because then the Wellingtons will go on there and the pastry will start cooking immediately from the bottom. Otherwise, if you put the pastry on a cold tray, that's when you end up with a soggy bottom. So what we're going to do, take our fillets. We're just going to dab them on a bit of kitchen paper, just to take up the excess butter. I'm just going to pop them in the centre. We're then going to brush them with Dijon mustard, like so. We're then going to get some of the mushroom on top, like that. Then we're going to get the watercress puree. Spoon that on top. Then we're going to top that with some prosciutto. Just over the puree like that. So basically the puree does not soak into the pastry and make the pastry soggy. Just make sure that's all in the middle. We're just going to brush round. I'm going to get our larger piece. Just make sure it is large enough to go over. And just carefully, forcefully pile it over the top, getting all the air out. We can do the same with the other one. So it's literally just a little bit of forcefulness for that, just to make sure you can get it sealed. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to sort of crimp it to keep it in place. So we're just literally just going to pinch, fold and roll all the way around that. A bit like a Cornish pasty. What you can do, you can just carefully score the top of it without going through the pastry. Or you can score it with a fork. So we're literally just running the knife, scratching the top almost. Then we're going to just brush that with milk. Then we're going to just put a bit of pepper on the top, a bit of sea salt. Then we're going to literally just pop it on our already heated trays and pop in the oven. That's on 200 degrees. We're going to give that probably about sort of 10-12 minutes. But obviously if you like your steak cooked a little bit more, then obviously give it a little bit longer. 10 to 12 minutes will probably come out sort of medium rare. Right, to go with the beef Wellington, what we've got, some lovely English asparagus. Brilliant this time of year. Asparagus, literally just bend it and it'll tell you it'll snap. That's the fibrous bits, don't really want those. So we're just gonna snap those away like that. You also may see some sort of spears on there like that. You can just get rid of them if you want to, but the English asparagus is pretty much fresh and it's soft. So what we're going to do, pop it in the pan there like that, just to blanch that off. So bring the asparagus to the boil, let it boil for a minute or so. Don't overcook it. We still want to retain that little crunch in that. And just let it drain. Then we'll keep that and plate up the Wellingtons. Wellington's been in now for 12 minutes, so let's just whip them out of the oven. and see how they're doing. There we go, they look amazing, don't they? That pastry's all fluffed up nicely. So what we're going to carefully do now, just pop them onto this slate here. And we've got our lovely asparagus on there like that. And there we have it. My version, or my take, of beef Wellington.